Part 8, The Emergence of Life on Earth. We convey to you a part of the sayings from Spiritual Energies with the topic, The Emergence of Life on Earth, by Ljubisa Stojanovic, who transferred the sayings received in deep meditation into the book, Man, Origin and Future. Spiritual energies have an exceptional possibility, which consists in the fact that they can create certain life forms according to their wishes, whether it is a transitional form between matter, energy and a living being or living beings in the sense that they are known to people. This, of course, does not apply to all energies, but primarily to four global energies, and of these, the energy of Christ and the energy of the Holy Spirit certainly have extreme possibilities compared to the others. The creation of living beings has an extremely long history, since the first third of the century of the cosmos, and includes the creation of a practically infinite number of different material and immaterial living beings. If we focus only on material living beings, then the history of their creation looks like this. As we have already said, the first material living being, infinitely tiny, incomparably simpler than a virus, arose as a need for Christ's energy to protect against the disintegration of the surface rock on a planet, so that the extinct remains of these tiny living beings will cover the surface of the planet and in that way to stop the decay of surface rocks. Then Christ's energy continued to create beings that were useful in some process in the cosmos, as protection or help in some phenomenon of which there are countless in the cosmos. Gradually these living beings spread throughout the cosmos. Living conditions changed them to some extent, creating new subspecies, branching out, improving. Those who were not in harmony with the environment disappeared, ceased to exist. What happened on planet Earth that interests people the most? Christ's energy created a large number of living beings on planet Earth, 1/3 of which exist in a similar form on some other planets and habitats of living beings, so Christ's energy transferred them from there to Earth. The different living conditions on Earth have led to significant changes in these beings, so that, apart from some organism structure and specific features, they have almost no resemblance to their species in the cosmos. 2/3 are, however, beings that had to be created in accordance with the specific conditions of planet Earth, because ready-made living beings from other planets could not be used. This means that Christ's energy created one by one type of living being on planet Earth, and that Darwin's theory is not correct in the sense that all beings were created from some basic ones, branching off and changing until the present day. On the contrary, a large number of beings were created ready-made, with the fact that they gradually changed due to changes in living conditions, and as a result of these changes there were forks and the creation of subspecies, while some subspecies or entire species were completely extinguished. Christ's energy often created mutations, sudden changes in the structure of certain species, trying to improve or maintain them, after some environmental changes that threatened to destroy them completely. As the history of living beings on planet Earth is very long, science is unable to verify these elements in detail, but the latest research has already indicated that some species have not changed, unlike Darwin's assumptions. Spiritual energies, primarily Christ's energy, have not finished their work on Earth. They continue to create a new bacterium or microorganism every 50 to 100 years, and occasionally every few thousand or tens of thousands of years, more perfect living beings, thus enriching the living world on Earth in terms of the number, level of development and diversity of living beings. It means that it is possible for Christ's energy even in our time to create some living beings that would be at a relatively high level of development, but they would continue to develop by adapting to the environment and fighting for their place among living beings from their environment. This means that the creation of living beings is a process that does not stop on the planet and will never stop, and therefore people should not be surprised that in some cases and at some time they will come to the conclusion that they have found a new species that no one has noticed before, considering that she was dexterous enough to hide from people's eyes, which in some cases will be wrong and will represent the emergence of a new species that will begin to break through in the goal of its development, that general principle in the cosmos. Therefore, the very idea of the origin of humans from apes is superficial, because one common ancestor of humans and monkeys, i.e. primates, was created, and then there was a branching in development. In one direction, monkeys began to develop, in another type of monkey, in the third a primitive man, in the fourth again some kind of monkey. The age of man, who separated and became a separate species, is somewhere around 3.5 million years, while the ancestor of man and ape arose around 5 million years ago. So, after 1.5 million years of the existence of the common ancestor, there was a bifurcation, the development of species that differed significantly, which have mostly been maintained until today. Of course, the development of man up to the contact with the luminous body went at the same, slow pace, as with other animals, with the fact that man, unlike monkeys, represented a more dexterous and intelligent variant of the branch of the common ancestor than the other branches represented by today's monkeys. Now it becomes clearer who is right, supporters of the creationist theory or Darwinists. Both are partly right and partly wrong. Darwin was wrong, because all living things did not originate from a single great ancestor, but Christ's energy created a huge number of original living beings. Creationists are not right when they say that all beings that God created, except for very rare cases, have remained unchanged to this day. At the same time, Darwin is right that, due to changes in living conditions, there was a change in living beings, because this happened in most cases. Creationists are right when they say that all original living beings were created by God. This would be a part of the sayings from Ljubisa Stojanović's book, Man, Origin and Future, and if you are interested in the whole sayings, it is best to order the book yourself via the internet from an authorized printer in Serbia. The Treasury of Sacred Knowledge thanks you for your interest, and sends you a lot of spiritual patience and love.